Character generation, or CG for short, is adding static or animated text and images to your video. For example, the image of a station's logo that appears on the corner of your TV when you're watching cable or broadcast television is done using character generation. Another example is a news headline or reporter's name that appears during a news show. The Datavideo TC200 is a small box that uses an internal keyer to overlay or key the graphics on top of the video output of your switcher. The CG200 is software that comes with the TC200, which allows you to create text and graphics on your laptop. First, install the CG200 software on your laptop. Next, set the dip switch settings on the TC200. Switches 1 to 3 are the video resolution settings and should be the same as what you have set to your switcher. Switches 4 and 5 are the keying mode or the conversion mode, as you see on the TC200. For the workflow in this tutorial, we're going to use the downstream keying method. So set the dip switches 4 and 5 to HDMI titles overlay SDI in. And last but not least, set the switch 6 to dip switch. Next, connect the power cable to the TC200. Connect the CG200 laptop to the TC200 using an HDMI cable or the conversion cable from your laptop. Set the display setting of the CG200 laptop to extended display. Then, launch the CG200 program. Once you're in the CG200 user interface, go into the Settings menu at the top and select Run Initial Setup. Make sure that the mode is set to the resolution that you have set on the TC200. HDMI connection should be set to Auto. Click Next and you should see color bars in the window. Click Finished to complete the setup. Here is how to create a new title and lower third. When you open your CG200 software, first go to the upper left-hand corner and click on New, and you will start a new graphic page. If you want to add a logo or image for your show, go to Add Picture/Animation, and you will be able to import the image you would like to load. To resize the image, use your mouse to drag the image to wherever you would like it to be. You can then save the graphic page to bring it in with others that you have created when you do a full show. To create a lower third, click New again to make a new graphic page. To add text, move up to the icon next to the picture icon and add a simple object, which will load text and shapes. You can resize the text by dragging the edges to the desired size. To begin adding text, go to Edit Text, which will make the cursor appear. You can change the font by selecting the text. In Properties, you can adjust the transparency. If you want the text to be fixed and not crawling or scrolling, set the movement setting to Fixed. You can add another simple object to make the box or shape as a background for your text. You can add another simple object to make a box or shape as a background for your text. add more text, click on Add Simple Object again. Set the position and add more text. To change the color of the text, select the text and click on the color icon or option to change it. You can add multiple shapes or just keep it simple. When you're finished creating your lower third, save it to import it later. To create a logo or bug, you can bring in text into the corner of your screen. You can also adjust the layers by clicking your text or images and adjusting the properties. All the CG pages that will be used during your show should be saved in one folder on the CG200. This way, the pages are easily accessible during production. The CG technician should be in sync with the switcher operator during the production to play and stop the CG pages according to the input that is being switched to on the switcher. By rehearsing this process, you can guarantee that your production will run smoothly. For more Datavideo tutorials and to learn more about our products, visit Datavideo.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Welcome to the Datavideo CG200 training. My name is Tim, and we are going to be working today on a bonus lesson on how to animate a stinger or a motion graphic. So we're going to show you how to do that. So let's go and start by going to New, and I'm going to turn the preview window off. Right click on here, and as you can see, you can add a simple object, add a picture or an animation, and we want to add an animation. And what the CG200 is looking for is it's looking for an image sequence or a text document. What we want to do is create a text document. You could do a GIF, but I would recommend not doing a GIF, as the color is only 255 colors and it does not look very good. But the better way of doing it is doing an image sequence, and so we're going to show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is go look in your image sequence folder. Right here's my folder here with all my images in it. It's 1 through 100, and then you want to open up a text document editor. And you begin in there, in your first line, typing in the file number. Links station logo 001.jpg, links station logo 002.jpg. And as you can see, this is going to take a really long time to do. I've typed in 100 lines, everyone down. Not to mention, if I make a mistake, it's going to mess the whole entire sequence up. And I don't want to do that. So there is a faster way of doing this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Close this out. Minimize this. We go back into this one here. What we want to do is open up our command prompt. Open up your command prompt. Maximize this so you can see it. And I want to get into my root folder, just my seed folder. So to do that, I am going to go to cd ... It will go back one level. cd ... Go back another level. Now I'm on my root. So I can list everything in that directory by typing in dir. And that shows everything in my directory. And what I want to do is I want to get the file right here in this folder. So you go cd cg-200. Now I'm in that one. And I'll type in dir, and you'll see 3 different files there. So cd fmf. So now I'm in that directory. Now if I type in dir, you'll see all the images that I showed you earlier, except it'll see it in the command prompt window. Okay. And now what we want to do is we want to create a text document. By going into here, you simply type in dir/b greater than file name .txt and push enter. And there it is. It has created a text document. So I want to show you. Go back into your Windows Explorer window. You will see file name .txt. Open up this one, double click, and you'll see them all in here. It automatically does it for you. what you want to do is highlight the first line and erase it, and then save it. Okay, and then close out of that window. And now when I come into here, right click, add picture animation, and I'm going to find that text document. File name txt, open. Now we'll just wait for that to create the image sequence for you. And there we go. There we have it. So now if I open up my preview on and I hit play, it plays it, and it plays it, and it plays it over and over again. So let's just end that. And down here in your presentation window, it says show indefinitely, yes. We'll want to click that to no. And now when I push play, it will play it and stop. So if I have this going and the keys open on my switching board, it will play through it, go into it, and come out of it seamlessly. It looks fantastic. And that's how you do it. And thank you so much for watching the bonus lesson on the CG200 on animating a image sequence. Hi, and welcome to the Datavideo CG200 training. My name is Tim, and I will be working with you through this basic training series. You will learn all the necessary information to confidently navigate and operate the CG200. During these lessons, I will be showing you how to build a lower thirds, like seen here, add logos, and a ticker. We'll spend some time setting up the animation graphics that we are going to build. Image TV has been using the Datavideo CG200 on its live video productions for several years now, and have found some very useful methods to deliver consistent professional results every single show. The first lesson I will go over is the CG200 interface, talk about a few of the settings here before getting into creating and animating your graphics. In later lessons, I will show you how to animate some stingers and use spreadsheets and text documents to streamline your productions. So with that, let's get started. Hi, and welcome to the Datavideo CG200 training. This right here, we're going to be talking about the interface as well as some of the settings that you will encounter as you begin to navigate through this software. So when you do open up the CG200 software, you will come to your preferences here, which is your mode. And in order to get the CG200 to work, you got to have a dual display. Your one monitor is your primary monitor, the program, the one you're working off of, and the other monitor being the graphics, what it's putting out to the output, which is done by the HDMI. So with that, you got to make sure you have an approved graphics card for it, or else you're going to have some very funny colors, some funny lines, and all different stuff that goes through it. So make sure that you do have an approved graphics card. Otherwise, just make sure your settings here are set to the mode that your switcher is on. You want them to be the same exact mode. So in this case, we have it under 1080p 60. And also, if you noticed right here, these are really small icons. I don't really care for the small icons, so I like to use the larger icons. And all you have to do is right over here in the middle of this preferences box, just switch this over to use the large icons in toolbars, which does require a restart, which is no big deal. Just select it if you want to do that, and go to OK, and then you close down, and then open it up again. There we go. Now we have bigger icons up there. And then when you open it up, you'll see this main window here with a couple other smaller windows within it. So our main window is what you're working on right now, which is blank at the moment, just alpha. And then you have your Explorer window, the examples that come right on the CG200. And every time I select one of these, you see down here on the bottom, it shows you which one you'd be loading up. If you want to actually load it up in this monitor, you would just simply double click on it. Since I am using a 1080p, I just double click on this one, and it'll load it up here. And then on this side, the window, you'll see the property page. By selecting on this, it suddenly becomes populated. So that's pretty much the basics of this whole thing. All these icons right here, you can get them up through here as well. It's very simple interface. There's nothing too complicated about it. Very basic. It is free software in it, but it does do the job that you need it to do. So In the next lesson, we'll go over how to set some of this stuff up and what some of these property page, what all this stuff means. Hi, and welcome to the Datavideo CG200 training. My name is Tim, and in this lesson, we will be working through some of the basic functions of the menu bar and the buttons you see above here, and a little bit of the folders on this side. And so, for the sake of the lesson, we're going to click on this eyeball here, and this is the preview monitor. So when we click on that, you'll see a preview monitor. So everything you do here and you play it, you'll see it here. Just the preview only, so you kind of get the look of what you're trying to do displayed there. If you want to actually output it, you click on the monitor button here, and then that'll push it over into your second monitor. And so over here, we have our play, our pause, our end, and our stop. These buttons here control your animation down here. Click on one object, you can play it. It'll play the whole thing, unless you right-click it and you see play, pause, end, stop. If I end it, it'll disappear. If I right-click on it now, play, it'll come back again. If I come over here and I go pause, it'll pause just the ticker. I right-click on it and I go resume, and then it'll resume it. If I go to end, it'll animate out. All right, so if I play it now and I go to stop, it'll just kill it. It just disappears. The ending, what it'll do is it'll go through the process of what you have set in the property page and how you want it to animate out. Stopping just kills it. And I have found that ending is far better than stopping. Stopping, sometimes you will have some crashes by stopping it. So I'll end it and then stop if I have to. And so this is these controls here, and then you have your regular menu bars up here, and they're just like what you see here. They're just another way of getting at it. That's all. So on your property page, let's take a look at that again. So I'll just click on an object. You'll see these different things that are settings for this object. So this right here is the object number 3. If you push tab, you will be going through the different objects, and you'll see it highlight below as I do that. Now it goes down here, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 1, number 2, number 3. So there are 3 objects in this page, right? So, and you can change the order if you want to make that one into a 1. I can type in a 1. I won't let me do that now, I guess. You got to move it up and down. Sorry. So I got to bring it down. See, now I bring it all the way to the back. So I'm just setting that back in the layer. So now this is your first one, and I tap through it, and that now becomes my third, my ticker. All right. So these right here are just the ones that come with Datavideo that you can select, and you can reverse engineer to figure out how they did them. And every time you select them, you'll notice down below in this pane, you will see what you're clicking on. It's not a preview monitor, it's just a display. So with that, what we will do in the next lesson is build some of these real simple graphics here by just using the Datavideo CG200. Hi, and welcome to the Datavideo CG200 training. My name is Tim, and in this lesson we will be building a lower third using only the CG200 software. And this is the lower third we will be creating. So to begin, we will start by clicking on the preview monitor, see what we're doing. And when we play this one down here, here's what it'll look like. Comes up, and it makes a ticker, and I can end it. That's how it goes out. Okay, so to build this, what we do is we go new. You can either click on this icon, go to the File menu, New, or right here's a little shortcut key, Control-N, New. Okay. When you get to this new screen, you simply right-click on here and go to Add Simple Object. Left-click, and here's the object it adds. And it adds a little bit of opaqueness to it so you can see it. Otherwise, it would just be completely transparent. And so you just drag that into position. Let's say right about there. And then we'll just scale it. Right here are the handles. And just scale it how you want it. I'm going to go ahead and drag this one all the way across. Okay, and that's where it is. And then what I want to do is change the color so it's not like this, so I can see it a little easier, because this makes it kind of hard to see. And I can right click on it, or you can go over here, but I like to right click and see the properties here. And I can take this to 100% transparent, which would be, you won't be able to tell the difference between the background and the object, to 0. So, but I'm going to change that over to it's like 70% maybe. We'll see. Maybe. And then the color here. So we'll go to, this is the one that I have, is a 21, and you can choose any color that you want. This is one that I had chosen, and then go, I can add it to the custom color, and then it'll come down here, okay, and then it comes over there. It's like that, a little bit lighter than what I wanted. So right here you can change it into this one too, a little darker, too, if you like. So here's one of them. Now I'll create another object for down below. Add a simple object. Drag that one down into position. Again, size it accordingly. So let me bring this one over here just a tad. Like that. And now if you see a little bit, this one's on top. This is object number 2, and you can see a little bit of a line on top of here. I want to make this one actually 0 so I can see it. This one right here, I'm going to do it a little different. So you can right click on this one, go to your properties again, click on your color. I click on this one first, so when I want to add it to custom color, it will fill in that one, and then I can use the same colors again. I can define custom colors, and I can choose another value here. In this case, it's 61,103. And then it'll fill that one in, so my 2 colors are there. And so, and I can go to, that's right. Okay, now you see this, I want this one actually behind this one. And to do that, you click on the object, and then up here there are some icons, and you can move that object to the back. So it's all in layers. So move to the back, and then it goes behind this object. So now this object here is number 2, and this one is 1. 1 being the one that's closest to the background. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the same color here. I just want to make it a little smaller. So I can click on it, and you can go up to the edit, or you can just simply put Control C. So I can go Control C, and then Control V is the shortcut for paste, and I Control V. I can see it got a little darker because now there's actually 2 objects there. One's layered on top of the other. So you click on it and just drag it up into position, and you just scale it kind of how you want it. So I'm going to have this one be this one here would be my web page information, and I want to move this one also to the back. So click on it, and then you would move it to the back. You move it. So now it's to the back. Now this one here is in the front of every one of them, because it's the darkest one. Okay. So now I want to also create another object down here. So to do that, we just click on this one. This is the closest one to that scale. And again, Control C, Control V to paste it. See, it gets a little darker, and just drag that one into position. And I'm going to take it here and then scale it. Got the handle there. Scale it over like this. A bit larger than that. So now it's two different objects. So I'm going to change this one to a white. Like that. And there, that's 0. So then I have that one there, and I think this one actually could, right about there. So, and now I want to put a picture here, my logo, as you can see right here. So by doing this, well, all you have to do is you right click, and instead of add a simple object, you add a picture / animation. So let's do that. And this comes up here. So I'm going to select this one here, open, and there it is. I can move that one down into position. And as you can see, I have to scale these back a little further, which shouldn't be a problem. But this layer is on top of that one. So let me show you what we'll do here. Okay, so when you have this and you try to scale it, you're always going to select this one on top. It gets very frustrating. So what you have to do is either move this one out and then reposition it. Say, move one back. And you have the same problem there. So that's why I'll move this one out a little bit and then scale this one back here. Like that. And a little bit too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think it might be still a little bit. And then move this one down into position. Like that. So something to keep in mind though, when you bring in pictures, images into the Datavideo CG200. So I bring this picture in, this is how the aspect is. And Datavideo does not lock your aspect ratio. In other words, if I were to try to scale it, and even if I grab the corner handle here, I can move the mouse a little bit to the left and it will actually scrunch it. And it becomes very frustrating because you never know if you have the correct aspect. And so you might be a little stretched, scrunched, and all those kind of things. And this process can be quite frustrating. And so what I would recommend you do is to scale it in something like Photoshop first and scale it accordingly and then bring it into the Datavideo. The Datavideo CG100 is terrible for scaling. So I'll just delete that one because I don't know exactly where it's supposed to be. And then say yes, and then right click again and go to add picture animation. And pick the logo again, comes in properly, and move that into the position, and there we have it. The logo is into position then. So now what we want to do is you want to add some, and also I think this is a little off here, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. You can push the arrow button and it will move it up 1 pixel at a time. That looks a little better. So anyways, now I want to add some text to my lower third. To do that, you click on the object and you can right click and say edit text. Okay, so, and I'll just type in CG-200 lower third. Enter, and it'll go on to another line. And I'll say creating lower third using only the CG200 software. Okay, and then click off of it. Don't push enter. It's just going to add another line to it. And then you have it here. It's kind of tucked up there, which I don't really want. So what you can do is once you click on it, edit text, highlight it all. It's hard to see with this blue, but it is highlighted. And then we can come up to this little guy right here, which is the paragraph properties. And that's this little box comes up. So our left alignment is what we have. Let's maybe make this into maybe a 20 left, and our top margin about a 10. Let's see what that does. So it puts it like that. And it gives us a little bit of edge on that. Let's edit the text again, and let's highlight this lower one, and let's say not a 28, but 26 for the lower one there. And this upper one here, highlight that, and we'll say 32. Something like that. I'm just using the standard Arial font on this. You can use whatever font you want. I do recommend using something that's real legible, nothing too stylized. It's very hard for your viewers to view something that's too stylized. So a good block font or Futura can be good. Arial is good. There are other fonts too that are better. So once you have that done, you can do the same thing to your other one. You just click on it, right click, edit text, and I'll just say www.imagepictures.net. Click off it. Again, I don't like the way that looks. It's too close to the edge. And I click on the paragraph properties, and I'm going to go with the 20 and 15. No, let's go with 10. I think 10 probably is pretty sufficient. Yeah, that might be a little much yet. Let me click on that again and edit that. Let's go 6. A little better. So then I have that into position. Next, I want to add this one. You continue to do this through each training. Now it's white because I have a white background, so I have to highlight it, and you can see it's there, training. But in order to edit the font, the color, you come up over here, the font properties, the color, and the background color. So we can go to color, choose a black if you want a black, but I don't really want a black actually. What I want to do is use my custom color down here. Okay, so then I have my custom color there, like that. And again, no, this has to be pushed over more, so it's aligned with that one there. And I believe I used a 20, could be wrong. No, it looks good. Train there, so now it's on that edge there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to put a ticker into this box right here into the lower third. To do that, click on the box, you right click, and once again go to edit text. Now you can either type something in that you want, or what I did is I took something from Word and I just copied it and I'm going to paste it right into this. So I push Control V, shortcut key to paste, and there it is. Now you don't see it, but if you look closely, you'll see a very tiny text, because what the CG200 does is it copies the formatting of the text into Word, does not keep the formatting in your text box. It copies right over it. Very frustrating, especially when you're doing a lot of graphics and you're copying from Word. Maybe your producer is giving you these graphics to put in and you got just copying and pasting, and you're constantly reformatting. It can be one of the most frustrating things. Why it doesn't keep the formatting in the CG200 is beyond me, but regardless, so you have to go in here and actually edit the text. So you click on it, edit your text. Control A is the shortcut key for select all. You select it, and then what we do is we can go to our font properties. Click on that, and let's select this. Let's just pick an Arial. A lot of font in here. Okay, so we have an Arial here, and let's just go to regular, and let's say 20. And we go to OK. Say, well, you know what? It's still black, so of course we have to edit our text. Control A, select all, font properties, and let's make it white. I like to make it bold as well. Let's make it a 22. There. So we got like this. And what we also, the reason it's doing this is because we have not defined it to be a scrolling text yet. So to do that, we would go over to, let me pull this open a little bit more, like right here. And you see the text, it says transparent, 0, movement is fixed. Well, we're going to change this to a horizontal scroll. Horizontal scroll, and let's have it move fast. And we'll have a loop. Oh. See, since this was on top of there, just pull it back down. I'm going to edit my text. Control A, I'm going to check this here. And I do want to get the top just a little bit. Let's just say 5 for the top. There, that way it'll center that up a little more. So now when we click on this, we can either click on this, right click and go to play, or we can click up here. These group of buttons are just for individual object control. So hit play, you'll see it come up like this, how it's going to come up when you are in production. So right here we can pause it, play it, or end it, stop it, regardless. So that right there is how we created it. So now when I push play, and play all, I mean play every object on this page, it'll play it like that. And we can pause it, or end, I'm sorry, play it, pause it, and the only thing that's actually playing is this. So you click it again and it'll just continue to play through. So we can end it, but we don't actually have it animating in or out. So on the next lesson, I will show you how to animate the objects in and out. So you can play it, it'll come up, it'll animate in, and then when you end it, it'll animate out. Hi, and welcome to the CG200 training. And in this lesson, we will be going over how to animate this lower third in and out, the one that we created in the previous lesson. So before we do that, let's save this lower third into our new show folder. So we go to File, Save As, and let's just go to here, and I'll go to, I like to, and say my lower third. So now we open up here, we'll have it like that. I like to keep my builds here. These are like my templates, and then when I make them unique, I'll save them as, and then save them into this folder, and then I can delete these every show so they don't pile up. So anyways, now that we have that saved, we can go into our objects. So you click on the object you want to animate in. This is our main object. So let's click on that, and you can see right now it is start delay, no value, simple cut, nothing, there's no animation at all to this. So what we want to do is open this up a tad bit, okay, and let's say here's our options, what we can do. So slide from left, we have a stretch, a reveal. So let's say, let's slide from the right side. Then how long do you want it to take? I can do a quarter second, 0.25, go over. That's the first one. And then let's go to this object. And you can do a simple cut, but let's start it at a 0.250. Push enter. Okay, and then let's go over to this one here, the stinger, and let's bring the stinger from the right as well and start in the delay at 0.25, same thing as the previous object. So click that, push enter, except we're going to slide this, or I shouldn't say, let's reveal it from the right side. And let's put this at 0.2. Okay. And then click over here on the website, and this will start in the delay at 0.3. I'll do a little bit after the other one, and I'm going to reveal from the bottom and 0.2. All right. This is just the in effect, and then this one here, we're just going to have this one here come up from maybe like a reveal from center vertically. That come up right away, and 0.2. Okay, so now we have these kind of, everyone has a starting animation to it. So we can click on these individually and we can see what they come up. That's how it is. And I can add to it as I'm clicking on these. Hit play and you'll see how they animate in. That'll play everything by clicking this one and all. And it just cuts out because we haven't programmed the out animation. So, but first of all, let's just play the whole thing and we'll see what it looks like right here. So then we end it. You can play it again. There we go. Let's end it. So now let's go back to here and let's animate this out. So right now we slide from the right side. And we can slide to the right at 0.25. This one can go let's just go slide to the bottom. 0.25. Let's keep it with the same. And we'll slide this one also. And I want to slide this to the bottom as well. I want anything to go over the front of anything. So we'll say slide to bottom. Come back down and go a little faster. And this one here will go hide to center. So I think we have them all. Okay, so let's save this by clicking the save icon right here. Save it, and then I'll play the whole thing. Okay, so that's how it comes up, and then I will end all. See, and then it goes away. Now let me play it again. If I stop it, it'll just cut it. Like I said before, by stopping it, it does not actually finish the animation. It just stops it. So it just goes away. And I have seen a lot of times it will crash by hitting stop, especially if you have a lot of these loaded up. So I will end it, then it goes away nicer. And that's all there is in this lesson.